Hi there, this is my case study for AEP 858, Module 14. We have learned about a school called Sherman Elementary School. It's pre-K through 8. There's 500 to 700 kids in the school. It's the largest school in the district, and that there are 3 classes per grade level. It is a suburban community in the Midwest. It's an affluent district that only has 15% free and reduced lunches and only has 5% students that are ELL. The principal is new. He's in his second year at the school, but he is not new to the district. He's been in the district for a while. What's come to our concerns is the PTO and the parents are concerned about their reading scores and their child's ability to read. This is a reflection of the poor reading and math scores from assessments. The reading scores were worse than the math, and parents are showing concern because of grade to grade each year. The scores are declining. We also know that the PTO wants to talk with the principal, and they want to speak to him at the next meeting about their concerns. The principal in the district had the reading supervisor observe the classrooms of the teachers. The DRS, or the district reading supervisor, reported that the instruction is not aligned with effective reading strategies. And she recommends that they have a comprehensive professional development program to realign the standards and the teaching strategies. The state has also provided an opportunity at this point to apply for a grant for a reading program as well. Although I will add that the grant is supposed to be for high poverty schools. What am I looking to know here? Why are our teachers not effectively teaching reading instruction or using effective methods? Why are student individual needs not being met? That's one of the big things that's being talked about in the observations by the DRS, or the reading supervisor. How can we revise these standards? Why are we only spending 1 hour a day? That's not sufficient enough for reading. And then why is there not an uninterrupted time? Like, why is the schedule not made where we can have more time to do reading, where there's less breaks in the day? And then the last thing is, like, why are we not having small groups for learning? That's concerning that we're just teaching the entire student body at one time in the classroom. The problem is the skill level attainment and the concepts for reading. It's not the scores. The scores are the problem, but they are not the actual problem. Behind the layers is why are our students not learning with effective reading strategies? We must find effective curriculum and teach strategies to improve these reading levels. From there, it'll be a domino effect. If we apply those new effective strategies, students can learn how to read better. The scores will go up in the long term. It's more focused on the process, not the result. My proposed plan of action is very simple. Step 1, meet with the DRS like we've done, collaborate about the changing standards or what needs to be done, analyze the data. 2, I need to go to the district office and the grade level leaders in our building and talk about the concerns that we're having with reading right now, and then math maybe in the future. And then I think I need to involve the department teachers, and I need to tell them about the new standards and what we're trying to do, try to give them some ownership on this process. At this point, too, I'd really like to propose the school having a weekly newsletter to be more outgoing to the community and to our parents. The next step would be the teachers attending the PD and applying the new standards. And then I would like to, after that, is fix the school schedule, then complete the grant application and see if we can get money for that, the reading program, and then organize information to share with the PTO in the future. Promoting success of all the students, I think providing small groups of differentiated instruction is really important to get those opportunities. I think we need to have formative assessments to track progress. Teachers really need to have the PD push on them. They have to be accepting to the change and to using new effective strategies and be open-minded. And then I think I really need to disaggregate the data, look at maybe demographics, look at possible trends or areas of students that there are pockets of gaps remaining, and then just finding an improvement, areas that we're being successful. So thinking, feeling, and valuing. I was really upset and embarrassed that I didn't notice this earlier and I had to be notified about it. I'm somewhat confused why the teachers aren't teaching to the current standards and effective practices. Analyzing and brainstorming ideas how we can improve this is a problem solving strategy, or where I'm at with problem solving. And then I think questioning why the math scores are low as well is, something I'm pondering as well. And then wondering how the district hasn't intervened earlier. That's concerning to me. And then since I've only been here for 2 years, and then I'm just encouraged that the parents are actually concerned about academics. That's very good with our PTO. Unresolved issues. What am I looking into further is, what's going to be the reading scores in the future? What about the math scores? We're having a lot of issues there. That's not just reading. Is the grant realistically a possibility? I personally think no, just because we're not a high poverty district. What if the teachers aren't willing to adapt? What do I have to deal with conflict or just butting heads with that situation, and then just meeting the PTO and the parents and gaining their trust back. And then, another thing is, do we have the budget for the PD? Those are all questions that are open-ended right now. My reflection for continuous improvement, I think number one is data analysis and collaboration with the district reading supervisor. I think that's important. Number two, that we recreated reading standards in the curriculum. And then three, we're introducing formative assessments and making our teachers do the PD and formatively assess to see if there's, to track the progress of these students if we're improving with our reading. The well-being of every student and engaging families in the community. I think we need to build relationships and trust meeting with the PTO. I think we need to meet with them more, communicate with them more, and really express, empathize with their concerns and express how we're going to fix the problem. Two, introducing the weekly newsletter. I think that's really going to help with communication and trust, and just, being more transparent with our class or with our building and what's going on. And then three is applying for the reading grant and seeing if we can maybe get that money. You just never know. Sometimes grants go unclaimed, and that'd be great to get that money for a reading program. Using data to respond and communicate to the community about their concerns with the instructional program. Number one, we review and analyze the last 3 years of reading and math, focusing on the reading, and saw that the data was trending down for reading, and that grade by grade we were getting worse. I also looked at the demographic data, looking for pockets and gaps. And then three, reviewed and reflected on the observation data collected by myself in the classrooms, as well as the district reading specialist or supervisor. We looked at that data, kind of compared, and used that as a good reflection of what's going on in our classroom with standards and the curriculum. Reflecting on the use of the knowledge of the policies, laws, and regulations that govern the school to influence and bring about positive change. And that's teaching to all, learning for all student groups. I think number one is the ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act. I think it's accountability for the schools, for the teachers, for the administration, myself, that we have low scores, that we need to do something about this, and we need to fix this, that students shouldn't be held to these low standards, and that we should be bettering ourselves as a school and as a district. Number two, applying or giving accurate grant data, that they know that we're being truthful, that we are not a high impoverished community, and that we'd be very grateful for that money, but we understand that we may not get that money because of the requirements of the grant. And then three, followed the district policies and the protocol in our district for changing the reading standards and the curriculum standards. I did the line that we needed to go down, which was meeting with the district reading supervisor, going through the observations with her, collaborating, talking with the assistant superintendent, curriculum instruction people, the district office, the superintendent about the plans, and using the proper protocol to make these changes. And then finally, establish an ongoing dialogue with decision makers outside of the school that can influence improving instruction and student performance. Number one was collaborating and working with the district reading supervisor for those new standards, as we talked. Two, met and communicated with the district office and staff about the situation, about how we need to go about the protocol and policies as we just spoke of. And then three, meeting with the PTO regularly, and then listening to the parents about their concerns. And I think just building trust. Another thing I'd like to add in there that I didn't put down is the weekly newsletter is very important as well. Just having a lot of transparency and building trust back. So thank you for watching my case study. Look forward to the rest of the year. Thank you.